The power cosmic, infinite possibilities, an entire universe that I can mold and change on a whim. Time to use it to impress a girl that really isn't into me. Hello, Winternet! Welcome to Tales Showcase, where this video is either right on schedule for the release of Infinity War, or it's a week late. Only the future will know! I'm your host, the Watcher of New Earth. Well, everyone, this is it. The culmination of 10 years of hype finally coming to fruition in Avengers Infinity War. And, as you've probably already noticed, as of this recording, I have not yet seen the film. And I've actually tried to stay away from most of the promotional material. Aside from, the trailers, the TV spots, the posters, the merchandising tie-ins, and basically anything else that Marvel will stuff down my insatiable gullet. Aside from that, though, totally blind. Now, with expectations this high, I expect a film that is no less than perfect. Something that'll make Citizen Kane look like a crappy student film. And if it's not, I'll riot. As someone who does nothing for the production, but does spend a lot of time yelling into a camera about these characters, I think that's fair. But enough trying to capitalize on a movie that hasn't released yet. Let's try to capitalize on the comic the movie was based on.
One of the first big crossover comics at Marvel, the Infinity Gauntlet was first released in 1991 and was written by Thanos' creator Jim Starlin and drawn by comics legend George Perez.
Well, actually, Mr. Perez only drew the first 4 issues, and the last 2 were taken over by Ron Lim. But that doesn't really apply to us today, as we're only looking at the first 3 issues, since people barely watch these videos as it is, and I don't think posting a half-hour-long video is going to help the situation. But that being said, let's get started. This is the Infinity Gauntlet, number 1 through 3.
There can be no denying it. You are supreme. Anything you wish to be, you are. Anything you wish is. There be only one word to describe you. The word turns out to be God, spelled out in giant boulders.
He actually wanted to spell it omnipotent, but the O took forever, and Thanos was coming in like half an hour, so this was easier.
The he who built the monument is Mephisto, essentially the Marvel Universe's version of Satan. He is addressing, of course, Thanos, who stands triumphant after collecting all the Infinity Gems.
Yeah, unlike the movie where it seems like the main focus is going to be Thanos gathering the stones, at the beginning of this story he just has them already. The story of him collecting them happened a year prior in a miniseries called The Thanos Quest, which I have not read, partly due to lack of time and partly because, after a while looking at Thanos' chin, I feel like it should be censored. Ugh.
While Mephisto continues to stroke Thanos' ego, we go to Earth and join Doctor Strange in his Sanctum Sanctorum, where he is studying up on magic. He is disturbed, however, by noises coming from upstairs and goes to discover the Silver Surfer having crashed through his ceiling. Strange goes to check on him as the Surfer says that he's come to warn everyone. The Surfer explains that Death, yes, that Death, resurrected Thanos so that he can kill half of all life and restore balance as there are currently more beings alive than have ever died.
Which, sounds impossible. That being said, we are looking at a story where a giant raisin uses a bedazzled glove to overthrow the universe, so maybe we shouldn't question what is and isn't possible here.
Thanos continues to test his powers as he causes the planet to suddenly explode.
As I was saying, Buster, this planet ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
The Surfer continues to narrate how Thanos came to learn of the gem's existence and convinced Death to augment his powers so that he could obtain them all. And now, with all the gems, Thanos is practically unstoppable. The Surfer, along with Drax the Destroyer, confronted Thanos and were defeated swiftly before Thanos collected them into his soul gem. There, the Surfer met Adam Warlock, who freed him and Drax and told them to go warn the universe of Thanos' arrival. Meanwhile, we join 3 randos who apparently robbed a liquor store and must now flee from the authorities. They don't make it. They return to life, however, and seek refuge at a nearby motel. Once they arrive, the woman discovers that she is turning green. On the other side of the universe, Thanos returns to Death, now seeing himself as an equal and worthy of her love. Death doesn't see it that way, as her orator says that Thanos is now her superior, and she doesn't really want to be subservient.
Well, that sucks.
Thanos tries to win Death's favor by building monuments to her and transforming his granddaughter, Nebula, into a rotting corpse, on the bridge of life and death. Her orator says she's still not impressed, and Thanos destroys him. Mephisto then suggests that she's not having it because Thanos has yet to fulfill his promise of wiping out half the universe. Thanos realizes the error and proceeds to do so, just with the snap of his fingers. We witnessed the event through Spider-Man, a smart choice since he's arguably Marvel's most relatable hero. His spider sense goes crazy, causing him to stop and sit down. As he looks down at the street, he witnesses half the people just disappear.
Now, the first time I read this story, I was just kind of confused as to why people just didn't fall over dead and be done with it. But in a way, I think this works better. It adds to the uncertainty and panic of the situation. I mean, looking at your loved one's dead body is bad enough, but having to witness them Marty McFlying out of existence in front of you? That's something else.
This continues everywhere, from Earth to the reaches of space, all with no one knowing what's going on or how to stop it. And the first issue ends with the three who died in the car wreck, now looking a lot better, as the woman disappears and the leader has immersed himself in a cocoon. And they assure us that next issue, things go from bad to worse.
Kind of an understatement, but sure.
The second issue opens with characters, both here and in space, attempting to cope with the fallout of what they dubbed the Great Disappearance. Doctor Strange, meanwhile, is contacted spiritually in a sequence that is spectacularly drawn. The being in the cocoon has contacted Strange in an attempt to earn his trust by exposing his soul to Strange. Meanwhile, in Latveria, Doctor Doom is fuming over his own people disappearing, but is already planning on how this can benefit him.
This can only lead to good.
On Thanos' homeworld of Titan, his brother, Eros, has gathered with Drax the Destroyer and Firelord in an attempt to figure out what's going on. Eros disappears, however, reappearing in front of Thanos. Thanos has summoned him to boast, because deep down we all knew he was that kind of a brother. Back on Earth, the Avengers are compiling a list of all missing heroes, which include many B-list Avengers, a couple prominent X-Men, and the entire Fantastic Four.
Well, wouldn't be the last time they abruptly got rid of them.
We rejoin the three from the car wreck as it's revealed that the little guy has become Pip the Troll. The cocoon then bursts as the being inside says that they are going after Thanos. At the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Silver Surfer awakens to find Doctor Doom holding Doctor Strange captive in an attempt to gain information. However, before Doom begins to torture them, the being from the cocoon, now revealed to be cosmic hero Adam Warlock, arrives with Pip and says that he will tell all. Back with Thanos, he is in the middle of torturing Eros and Nebula in a vain attempt to impress Death. When he sees that it's to no avail, he releases a shockwave and rage that levels half the galaxy. When it hits Earth, it's only at 2% of its power, but it still manages to cause massive earthquakes which lead to the entire west coast of the United States dropping into the ocean, and Japan also falling into the sea.
So in this alternate reality, I went down with the rest of California. I would be more upset, but there is one silver lining. Sayonara, jackass.
The second issue ends with everything in shambles, and the third issue reveals that the blast was so powerful that the planet's been knocked out of orbit. This issue consists largely of calling in allies. This includes the majority of the heroes that are still available and, wouldn't be completely useless. It doesn't end there, however, as Warlock and the Surfer meet with the cosmic beings in an attempt to form an alliance. This includes incredibly powerful beings such as Celestials, the planet-eating Galactus, the Living Tribunal, and Eternity, the embodiment of the entire universe.
Don't give me that look. You knew this was going to get weird.
Despite a few of the cosmic beings not wishing to participate, most agree to ally themselves with Warlock and Earth's heroes. Back at the Congregation of Heroes, tensions run high as Iron Man begins to argue with his longtime nemesis Doctor Doom. His fellow Avengers break it up before it becomes too serious, however. Avenger, you're out of line.
Do you want a civil war? Because this is how you get a civil war.
Thanos, however, is preoccupied with the arrival of the Watcher, a member of the Watchers whose job is to stand by and observe when something spectacular is about to happen. He also happens to be the inspiration for the first half of My Name. Back on Earth, the Hulk and Wolverine sit on the roof and have a conversation, bonding over the fact that they're both monstrous outcasts. Warlock arrives and agrees with them, then telling them that in the coming battle that if they are capable, they must kill Thanos. As he walks away, it begins to snow. Snow? In May?
Huh. Guess global warming is a myth.
Knowing that the Watcher's appearance signals a great battle is coming, Thanos asks Death to stand by him. And she walks away. Finally having enough, Thanos creates himself a new woman, called Taraxia. He says he no longer has any need for Death. And she walks away.
Wow. Awesome move, buddy. You're nailing this. She's weakening. I can tell.
On Earth, the preparations and plans have been laid out as Earth's heroes prepare to confront Thanos. Warlock and the Surfer are the first to leave, but will only be observing the battle. Strange and Pip will also remain on Earth to telepathically keep everyone in touch. The Surfer tells Warlock that he doesn't appreciate being kept as a reserve, and Warlock tells Surfer that he still doesn't understand. Thanos is invincible. These heroes are nothing to him. They're only here to be a distraction, and the issue ends with them appearing before Thanos, ready for a fight.
And that was the Infinity Gauntlet, numbers 1 through 3. Yeah, it's fantastic.
The story does an amazing job of building a sense of helplessness and dread. There are tons of panels that I left out just because they don't directly service the plot, but are great at showing these characters coping with the end times. The development of Thanos is also really well done, showcasing an egotistical nihilist drunk on his own power. The art is stunning, which is par for the course with George Perez, who has always been most comfortable when drawing mass quantities of characters. Even in more intimate moments, though, the fear comes through regardless of the already excellent writing. And for one of Marvel's earliest crossovers, the collection of characters here is impressive.
Which makes what happens next really suck. But that's a discussion for another day. Now go forth and enjoy Avengers Infinity War. Or hate it. As I stated before, I have not seen it yet. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. This is the Watcher of New Earth, signing off.